Bitcoin price has been stuck within a range between 26,500 and 27,500. Both the bulls and the bears have been fighting aggressively over that territory, and therefore we've seen a lot of whipsaw whereby traders are getting stopped in and out of positions throughout. So on today's show, I'm going to identify for you which are the levels that you need to be focused on. Where do the bulls take back full control, and where do the bears take back control? So let's get straight into it, and we'll have a look over here on the Banter Bubbles chart. You can see on the Banter Bubbles chart over here, just a reminder, it's a new platform that we're running. You can click on the bubble and there is a chat box which takes place. You'll have to sign in using your Twitter, and you can see exactly why those particular coins may be running, which is very interesting. We'll get back to that later on. Let's start off with price action over here. So looking at the very, very high time frame, we're looking at the weekly chart on Bitcoin over here. And you'll remember from the last time that I did a show that we're identifying based on the pi cycle bottom indicator, the series of different moving averages. We're focused on the 111 MA, which is the green one. We said if this is to be a bull run and the pi cycle bottom indicator is in fact correct, in the same way that it was in the previous cycles, you would expect that price would base off of that 111 moving average. And we can take a look back over here. You can see from the COVID lows, once reclaimed, it started to base off of that and use that as support, bouncing off into a major bull run, and vice versa in a bear market, using it as resistance all the way back down. And you can see prices come directly into that, and a beautiful wick off of that last week coming in at $25,825. And this current week, we'll be looking for continuation. But not much has happened. So we've kind of been sitting in no man's land. So I will show you the breakout levels that I'll be focused on shortly. First, let's have a look at the next weekly chart, looking at the moving averages. Very, very important. You have the 200 moving average on the weekly chart, which price came directly into, wicked through that, and then consequently bounced off. And now we're looking to hold above that level. If you do start to lose that level, I have the next areas of interest, which is going to be the 21 EMA, which has also been historically important in the same way that 111 MA is on the prior chart. That's currently coming in at 25,554. So we know that 25,500 level is a very, very key level as a key horizontal zone, both on the weekly time frame as well as what was the prior range, which we broke out of. So we'd be looking for a potential retest of that zone. Now, I'm going to bring up both Bitcoin and Ethereum's potential levels for breakouts and breakdowns. This is on the high time frame. So do not confuse the high time frame with the low time frame. High time frame weekly chart talking more towards the investors, those of you out there who are looking to hold your positions for weeks to potentially even months. Now, what you'll be looking at over here is a pretty much no man's land territory. And the reason why is because you've broken down the 𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗧, as you can see over here, signifying a potential stop and reversal. Not only that, but you're also still caught within the Gaussian channel, which is currently still bearish. But most importantly, you're still holding the middle of that Gaussian channel, as you can see denoted by this line over here, as well as the 21 EMA, which is the yellow line. We bounced off of that EMA, the exponential moving average, and consequently, we're holding within that level. Now, you have two important zones. Your breakout level is going to be coming up above at 30,548. If you're a high time frame trader and you start to see any closes above that zone, you know that is your signal to go long. You'd be looking for trend continuation and say that you're breaking out of the Gaussian channel, which means that it is eventually going to flip bullish. But if you cross below that level and you start to close candles below the 25,500, which remember, I just outlined the significance on that on the prior charts, as well as what was our previous important range, which we broke out of. This would be coming back into that as a prior range high retest, looking to hold that as support. Lose that, and you can expect you're going to move to the bottom of the Gaussian channel, which comes in all the way down just above $20,000, which is pretty significant as a price action play. It means that price could potentially pull back. Percentage-wise, you're looking at about a 17-18% move, which is very significant. What about Ethereum? Same story on Ethereum. Breakout level, you're looking at above over here, $2,119. If Ethereum could start to clear that level, you would expect you're going to crack through the top side of that Gaussian channel, and you would expect trend continuation. And you can say that maybe we are starting to move into a bull run, and this is the etchings or the start of that cycle. Now, on the downside, you're looking at any closes below $1,789 means that you're going to start to lose that middle of the Gaussian channel, as well as the key and important exponential moving averages, which is the 9 and the 21. Break below that and you move to the bottom of that Gaussian channel, coming in at $1,349. Now, moving on to Bitcoin over here on the 4-day chart, we met our exact target. The exact target that we had been looking at was the purple moving average. That is our high time frame one, coming in at 25,796. We tagged that zone. What now? Well, same thing in alignment with all the other previous moving averages, which I've just shown you. You'd be looking for a bounce off of that zone. So what are you looking at? Well, you're looking at a higher low formation over here, which was the 15 to 16K territory, which was stuck in over the course of December last year. And then where we moved into the March lows, bouncing off of that long-term moving average, this would be your next higher low, and then you're moving up to your target at about that $32,000. But tying that in with the high time frames, which I just showed you on the prior chart, if you start to clear above this level over here, 30,500, it's unlikely that you stop at 32. Then the probability becomes higher. That price is going to move all the way up towards that $35,000 zone, would be the measured move off of that breakout. And that is where you're going to be looking to form anywhere within that region, your next higher high. And then we'll look to buy the following pullback from that zone. Now, I do want to remind you that it is coming towards the end of the week. And we'll be giving away a Tesla Model 3. So if you are looking to still participate in that competition, and it's never too late to, all you need to do is click on the link in the bio below of the YouTube link, go to OKX, sign up using my sign up link over here, because you do get a sign up bonus. It will take you through as well to the raffle page over here. Each trade that you take is a raffle entry. It works on a raffle basis, so completely fair model over here. And you're looking at winning a Tesla Model 3 or $50,000 if you don't want the Tesla, coming up on the 22nd of May. I just wanted to put that out there as a reminder for you guys. All right, next important thing that has happened since the last show that we did, we had been stuck in no man's land when it comes to the S&P 500 futures, and you can see it's within this expanding megaphone pattern. So I said only want to focus on this when we start to approach the extremities of the range. Well, you can say that you have approached the extremities of the range because price today on the S&P 500 pushed directly into the range high. So the range high is coming in at 41.80. Now we need to sit and observe what's going to happen from here. Are we going to start to crack through? Really, I'd be more interested in taking a trade much higher up. So it is not yet that relevant. I'd be looking at the top section over here at 42.30. If price were to even get there, I'd be looking for something like that. And then most likely a rejection and coming back down towards the bottom of the range. Or if not, if it is a true rally, you're then looking for a proper breakout. But I think it's a bit too soon to look at that. It's probably going to take at least another week or two before we even start to trade up towards these levels. Now, something else that's tying in really nicely with everything price action wise is the DXY. I've said for a long time, focus on the potential W formation, which is currently looking like it's taking place. So on the dollar index, you're looking at that double bottom pattern over here. Let's just quickly grab our tools. So you're looking at the double bottom formation over here, which is significant because it's happening right in a major historical support level on the weekly chart around that 100.8 zone. Now, I said expect that at the very least, you're going to see a move up to target one. Target one's coming in at 103.4. We've almost reached that target. We were calling it from all the way back down here at about 101.2. Now, once we get over here, you then need to observe to see, is this just going to be another higher low and then continue to trend back down? If that is the case, I would say it's less likely that you're going to experience a triple bottom, because now you're hitting this trend line for the third time. And we spent a lot of time over here during this consolidative phase, which happened over the course of April all the way into May, which means that it would be more likely that you're going to actually crack through that level and continue down. That would be very, very good for risk on assets. Otherwise, what would happen is we still need to observe to see if you do start to break through this, then you're going to target up towards T2. Now, the W formation pattern will not be confirmed until such time as you get above target 2. And you can see it on this image, which I have right over here. Unfortunately, you need to wait for some time to clear the neckline level. So we're just playing at level to level. We're almost at T1. We'll touch base on that again once we get to T1. Next, we have the Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance did break back down below the range highs. Just a reminder over here. Here is our range, right? So anything that is below 48.44% means you're breaking back down into the range. And that's why you see a little bit of a rally from the altcoins. But I think it's too soon to call for a major breakdown. That's just a minor pullback within a consolidative phase. So we'll revisit that. Next, we have the liquidity charts unchanged, and the one that looks worse is definitely the People's Bank of China. The liquidity has absolutely fallen off a cliff. If you follow the fundamentals, watch for any sort of announcement that China may bring back some form of stimulus, some sort of a stock buyback or anything of that sort, which will obviously give the market a little bit of a pump. That means that crypto will be a benefactor of that. Next, total. Let's look at the total market cap. It almost reached our major support level. Could still have a little bit of drawdown to the downside. The one that touched perfectly into the trend line is total 2. You can see our lows, high low, next high low. You're looking for this to start to rally up very, very soon. Total 3 could potentially do the same thing because it has come into the mid-range. The mid-range was at 347 billion for total 3, which is the majority of the altcoins. If it starts to bounce from this level, watch again towards the range highs at 396 to see if it starts to lose momentum within that level. Next, we're looking at Bitcoin over here, Bitcoin and Ethereum using our pivot levels. And currently, we've reclaimed the pivot level. Let's just see, the pivot level does change every day. 27,249 is the level to clear, 27,249. So let's quickly change that up. That means that basically as long as price is above that, the RSI will start to trend back up and you have the opportunity to target towards the top side of this downtrending channel. But remember, you're contending with the 9 and 21 EMA over here on the daily chart, which has had its death cross. And you can see we've already rejected from it a couple of times. So will this time be any different? Let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum's current pivot level is coming in at 1823. Let's quickly change that over there. Okay, pretty much the same place. I've got 1824, so let's change that. 1823 is your pivot level. You can see Ethereum is sitting right at that pivot level. It's been very, very choppy. These pivot levels have been interesting. We haven't really seen a major trending move yet, which is why I say that, you know, you're kind of in the middle of no man's land. It's a choppy environment. If you see a choppy environment in the market, your best way to trade that is going to be as a range trader, or excuse me, yes, a range trader, not a trend trader. If you're trying to trend trade this, you're going to fail dismally. But nevertheless, you're looking at this. Is this good enough? We were looking for a potential touch of the 200 exponential moving average on both Bitcoin and Ethereum. We got relatively close. If you do see one more sweep lower, you can see how this is constantly trending up. You'd be looking at that 25K level as your potential target. And then that would be a major, major zone to bounce off of. But if you look at this chart over here, I would say that the target was almost already met. Look at the top of the channel. I'll make it nice and big for you. So the top of the parallel channel, the rising one over here, resistance, resistance, resistance. Then you have the middle, the exact middle. So I didn't manually draw this in. This is based off of the way that the parallel channel works. It's the exact 50% level. Look at that support over there, price goes up. Resistance, resistance, fails it and comes back down. And then that lines up, of course, with the bottom of that parallel channel, which was our 19,600 low. And consequently, we're looking for the confluence while it was holding within that downsloping channel. So remember, we have, let's just quickly grab that. We have the upsloping channel, and then we had the downsloping channel, and we were trying to match that up as an area of confluence for potential zone to bid off of. And you can see a lot of other traders were obviously thinking along the same way, which is why it got a little bit front run. So the wick came in at exactly $25,915, and our exact bottom of that zone would have been 25,500. So you're really looking for this wick low to be defended. That means you have an easy invalidation. If you are looking for longs within this market, you can very simply say that any price action that comes below that level, and we can quickly mark that off. Let's grab the magnet. Any price action that comes below that 25,904 means that you could have a deeper sell-off within the markets. Bulls will be looking to defend that level very, very heavily. And if they do, you'll just continue to track that up high low after high low. Next, using the 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓 indicator, which is a conglomerate of different exponential moving averages, all put into one simple to use indicator. You can see this has signaled that you should be closed out of your long position. But in the past, it has had fake outs. If you look at this one over here, there has been a fake out. Could it be that it's the same case? If so, that's okay. Sometimes this is just the way that you have to trade. You take small knocks and you stop out of positions, giving up some of your gains, but you can get back in later when it flips green again, looking for a safer entry. Because there is a possibility that something like that would happen. If you see it turn gray, it could start to expand towards the downside as well. So that is talking to the trend traders out there. Now, you have some drivers in the market still. The Bitcoin halving countdown is in full force, and you have 310 days to go. So we know that it's going to be more and more difficult to come by Bitcoin. The reward towards the miners is going to pretty much divide by 2. Mathematically, this is the way that it's programmed, and ultimately that does tend to drive price up. But it is possible that we still sweep a little bit low first. It's an accumulation year. You're looking at, I told you for this entire year, the year 2023 is really an accumulation year where you want to look to buy anywhere near the range lows whenever price gets there. You constantly want to add towards those positions. So do with that information what you will, whether you're trading altcoins or just Bitcoin. You know that the market moves in ebbs and flows, and Bitcoin ultimately drives the majority of the coins. Now, next, if the Bitcoin halving cycle plays out like the prior ones, one interesting thing to look at is, of course, Pulse Chain. And now you can actually track the price. So DEX Tools just announced, hey, DEX community, we are delighted to announce that we have integrated pulsechain.com. And if you go through to DEX Tools over here, here it is. You can see what the actual price over here is. So this is wrapped pulse against 𝗧 being a stable coin, and it's showing the price over there. Too many zeros to read. You can see it ends in 9505. Feel free to go have a look. Let me know in the comments as well, in the comment section below. Oh, while you're at it, smash the like button as well. It really helped to get the content out there since the streams have been irregular. We're in Bitcoin Miami at the moment. The internet's been dismal. I'm working off of my mobile device now, so I really hope the stream comes out. Smash the comments, engage with the show. It does help to get the content out there. And then let me know in the comments if you do want me to tweet out the token address so that you can put it in and you have any interest in that, then you can search for the correct token address. Make sure you have the right Pulse chain. What about PulseX? There's the price action for PulseX as well. Looking at 2788 is the last 4 digits with a couple of zeros before that as well. So brand new token launch. Let's see how this one plays out. I think it's pretty much priced when I checked more or less around where the IDO phase was, or the sacrifice phase, which means if you missed out on this, this could potentially be not financial advice, but one of your best opportunities to get in at the same price that the people who sacrificed got in at. Next, another interesting coin which has been outperforming in the market, or Bitcoin at least, is Litecoin. And that's because its halving cycle is happening in 69 days. So adding a lot of pressure towards the buyers within the market looking to get their positions in. You know, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy with the Litecoin pump that seems to happen right before that halving cycle comes in. Now, we identified this all the way back on, is there a date on this? The 15th of May, which was already 2 days ago. We were looking at the massive Litecoin BTC chart over here forming a double bottom as well as breaking out. Now, this is just a lesson for you guys. Any altcoins that you're looking to trade, make sure that their BTC pair looks good. There's no point in trading or longing at least a particular altcoin if it's in a downtrend against Bitcoin. You're better off just buying Bitcoin. It's a much safer play. Next, let's have a look over here at the ranges. Now, I just want to remind you from a high time frame what we are looking at over here. So when price pulls back, even if it dips below that $25,000 level, as long as there's a quick reclaim there, it's more than okay, because we're looking for this whole area to be the new potential range. So what I mean, if you do see a sweep below, especially if it comes into the 200-day moving average, it might get very, very scary over there at $22,600. But if it happens quick and the reclaim comes into play, you'd be looking at this as a swing failure pattern. Remember, when it comes to trading, you want to think about it like a chess player. You want to consider all different scenarios. You want to consider, what would you do if the unexpected happens? Anticipate your opponent's moves. The market is your opponent. And you want to ask yourself, if price does come down to this level and you weren't expecting it, how are you going to play it? What are you looking for as a sign to show you to flip bullish? The answer should be, if you see it come into this, you're looking for a quick reclaim of the $25,000 level, because we're looking at that as your range low, and then this as your range high, and expecting price to oscillate within that over time, slowly moving sideways and upwards into the halving cycle. Next, well, what happens if price rallies from here? It's the same thing over here. You need to be careful if you push above that range into the $34,000, $35,000 level, that you don't have a swing failure pattern towards the downside, because that would open the opportunity for a short, and you'd be looking to come all the way back down to the bottom of the range. So just a reminder, I know you guys know this because I have mentioned it many times before, but we haven't done shows for a while. So there it is. Next, you have the 50 and 200 EMA. This is now in the 4-hour time frame, and you can see the way that it's been acting as resistance. So we've had a lot of resistance over here. As soon as we lost that, we pushed into the 50 and the 200, where the cross took place, the death cross, if you will, and price came down. Price then pushed up and rejected. And as you can see, we're currently moving directly into that zone once again. And the question is this enough to start to close above? Price is already starting to pull back, and you need to be careful that doesn't happen, or you're going to expect continuation to the downside. Now, my personal opinion is that even if we do still go up here first, I think that eventually you're going to see a refill around this wick over here. And the reason why is it's just a bit of an imbalance within the market. You might see a sweep into that area, not necessarily all the way down, but somewhere around that 26,000, maybe $26,500 level. I know that we got pretty close today at about, we got the 26.5. So a little bit of a liquidity grab. I'll show you where the liquidity stacked using high block capital. But for the most part, I would like to have seen a little bit of a deeper pullback into that zone. But the market can do what it wants to do. It doesn't have to do what I say. Remember, you also have your stochastic RSIs, which are currently pushing up, and they're reaching near those high levels at the 80 mark. And just watch for that. If it does start to turn down, momentum may shift to the downside. Next, looking over here, liquidity to liquidity. So I did actually do a show for you guys, not yesterday, the day before, and I'd actually marked this out. The stream didn't go, well, it went up and it got pulled down due to bad internet. I absolutely pray that doesn't happen with this show over here and everything's all good. But ultimately, I was looking at this trend line over here and I was saying liquidity is building up. We're looking for a pullback into the pink box, and we got that pullback. It went a little bit deeper, all the way down to 26.5, and now we're pushing up. This is your next liquidity zone. You can see the volume profile is all the way down here at 27. So we've ripped through that, looking for a push into 27.5. Capture the liquidity, and then you might come back down here for one more retest, see if it forms a higher low or not, or if it rejects completely from here and comes under the point of control at 27,000, then you can expect continuation back down. Now, those liquidity levels, this is one reason why I have that zone. You can see over there, 27,600 is the closest liquidity. And then after that, once you hit that, your next liquidity is all the way back down just below 27K. Okay, let's have a look over here at how the longs to shorts are stacked. So at the moment, you currently have a total of short liquidations, 279 versus long at 292. What does this tell you? It's pretty even. So what you might see is you might see long start to chase price up higher. Then you'll see a more aggressive bid from, well, the buyers, the guys that are bidding on the market. And once this starts to get overextended and there's no more liquidity to the upside, you know how it is. Usually you turn back down, low volume environment, low liquidity environment. You just trade at level to level. The market has been sideways and boring. You trade it as a range trader, focusing on where the liquidity is. And I've just given you those liquidity levels. We will update that once it does become relevant. Now, lastly, I just want to give a shout out to ByBit, one of our sponsors. Please make sure that if you have not yet joined the competition, it's an awesome trading and learning experience for you with a small amount of only $250 to enter, and the potential to win a Tesla or $40,000, a Rolex or $20,000 in second place prize, and then third place you're looking at $10,000. You have 13 days and 12 hours to go, and all you need to do to get into the top 3 is 916%. I know that it sounds like a difficult task, but you never know. Put your mind to it. Anything is possible. To join that, click on the ByBit link over here. Firstly, you'll need to make sure that you do have a trading account. If you don't, it does help me. It supports me. If you click on my link and use that one below, you get up to $30,000 in sign-up bonuses depending on what you deposit. And then you'll go through and click the register link and have fun. That's it from me, guys. I will see you all on the next one. That was just a very quick update. Tomorrow is going to be very hectic in Bitcoin Miami. It's one of the biggest days that we have here, so I'm not 100% sure I'll get a stream out, but I will try my best, and let's see. I hope this one worked. I hope the stream worked. Cheers for now. Have an absolutely stellar day. I'll see you all on the next one.